Hello and welcome to This Week with Ajaz Haque. It's the midweek report on 20th of May 2020 on Wednesday. Welcome to my YouTube channel and thank you very much for tuning in again. We'll start with good news today. The US company Gilead Sciences, which manufactures the drug called remdesivir, which was initially developed for the Congo virus, is also known to help with the coronavirus patients by reducing the healing time from 15 to 10 days. They have licensed 5 companies in India and Pakistan to produce this drug completely royalty free, as long as WHO does not announce that coronavirus has ended. Now, not only will these 5 companies manufacture this drug, the idea is they should be able to manufacture it cheaply. That's why it's only been given to 1 Pakistani and 4 Indian companies, and they will be allowed to export this medicine to 127 countries and fix their own prices. In Pakistan, the arrangement is with Feroz Sons Laboratories of Lahore, and in India, there are 4 companies. These are Cipla, Jubilant Life Sciences, Haque Labs, and Mylan. So these are the 5 companies that will produce these drugs and then sell them around the world, which can only be good news for the corona patients as well as for the economies of the 2 countries. Now, the latest update on corona, 45,000 cases in Pakistan so far, 13,000 have healed, and 969 deaths have been reported. Now, compared to the overall world cases, Pakistan the reported cases is 0.97% and the deaths are 0.32%. So it's still, although the numbers have risen recently, but it's still considerably lower than Pakistan's population compared to the world population. There have been some investigations going on ordered by the Prime Minister. One of those is the forensic report for the sugar industry. And we understand the report is ready. It will be published in the next couple of days. And the thinking, it seems, is because there may be criminality involved in fixing the prices, in fake exports. So the case may be referred to the National Accountability Bureau, NAB, and they will then investigate, and maybe arrests will follow, and fines and jail terms and so on. On the investigation on IPPs, the independent power producers, that has been stalled for now, as the IPPs have stepped forward and said they're willing to renegotiate the prices in order to cut down the electricity cost. So there is a discussion going on at the moment with the IPPs. Let's hope it's fruitful and the cost of electricity is reduced in Pakistan, which is considerably higher than in India and Iran. Now, I had mentioned about Mr. Shehbaz Sharif's troubles earlier. It seems that he is in a thick soup right now. He was invited by NAB to answer some questions, and these questions related to billions of rupees ending up in his personal bank accounts and his family's bank accounts. And suddenly he lost his memory and couldn't remember where the money came from and how it got to his bank accounts. And it seems that his name may be put on the exit control list, so he may not be able to leave the country, and he possibly faces disqualification and jail term as well as massive fines. So let's hope the accountability takes its course. The charges against him allegedly are money laundering and corruption. On the international front, in Afghanistan, there's been a stalemate ever since the September presidential elections, because the 2 presidents were sworn in, Ashraf Ghani and Abdullah, and both of them insisted that they were both legally elected president. Anyway, a deal was brokered by the US, and now things have changed. Abdullah has accepted Ashraf Ghani as president, but Abdullah has been appointed as chairman of High Council of National Reconciliation. So it's the High Council of National Reconciliation that will negotiate with the Afghan Taliban as to which form of government will come in after the US troops exit Afghanistan. So he has a very important role. Also, he will get 50% of the cabinet members from his group, Therefore, he will have a fair amount to say in how, which direction Afghanistan goes. The Taliban have been sitting back and waiting for this fight to resolve, because the agreement they signed with the US, the Afghan government is supposed to release 5,000 of their prisoners, and they're supposed to release 1,000, and so far only a small number has been released. So because Mr. Ashraf Ghani has been probably trying to sabotage the deal, or holding back for maybe assurances that he will continue as president, but it's doubtful that after reconciliation is achieved that Ashraf Ghani will still be president. On the US political front, between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, things look pretty bad for Mr. Trump at this moment. The latest opinion poll published by MSNBC on May the 6th, they're putting Biden 9 points ahead of Trump at 50% versus 41%. Interestingly, Trump leads amongst men 46 to 44, but amongst women, he's trailing badly. Biden is leading by 56% to 36% for Trump. So it's not a very good omen for Mr. Trump, but then polls are polls and things change week to week, and you never know who ends up in the White House. Now, some good news on the cricketing front. The Pakistan team will be visiting England from July the 2nd. They will spend first 14 days in quarantine, and then they will play 3 test matches and 3 T20 internationals. So that should be interesting. However, it's not certain whether the spectators will be allowed to come to the stadiums, or they'll play to the empty stadiums. Either way, the game should go on, and it will be a good thing. Now, a roundup of the financial markets. The first 2 days of the week, Monday and Wednesday, S&P 500 is up 2% in the first 2 days. Nasdaq is up 2%. Toronto Stock Exchange is up 6.6%. FTSE 100 is up 4.3%. Hang Seng of Hong Kong is up 2.5%. The Mumbai Sensex is down 2.7%. And the PSX, Pakistan Stock Exchange, is up 3.2%. Now, on a final note, Pakistan government floated Sukuk bonds. These are Sharia compliant bonds, and they received 70% oversubscription. They'd asked for 200 billion and they got 340 billion. Anyway, so that allowed for them to get a very competitive price, which is the Kaibor Karachi Interbank offering rate minus 10 points. So it's around 8%. Now, the problem with the borrowing like this is that most commercial banks buy these bonds, and as a result they're not financing the industry and commerce that they should be. So the government should look into this and maybe in the future borrow from general public, from the retirees and pensioners, so that they can get a good return on their investment, and discourage the banks to participate in such lending, because they are lending safe in blue chip government bonds, and then they're not lending to the industry, which they need to do for the country's industry to revive. This extensive lending from the banks to the government is creating difficulties for the industry. That's all for this midweek. I'll be back with you on Saturday. Thank you very much, and we will do a weekly roundup at that time. Goodbye.